Welcome to Linda's TV show. If it is your first time of stopping by or coming across my YouTube channel, you are highly welcome. Please, I beg you for this favor, click on that red button that says subscribe. Beside the red button is a notification bell. Turn the bell on so that anytime I upload a new video, you will be the first person to check it out. I appreciate each and every one of you who always come back to watch my videos. Like you know, I present news on daily basis to you. So after watching the video, you are free to criticize and leave your comment constructively. Share the video. Yeah, you can share it to your family, friends, anybody that you can, so that they themselves will be informed. Now I present to you another interesting or informative video which we are going to watch together. Yeah, I'm going to watch this video together with you. Then we'll come to the
that can be done within little time, going by the experiences, you know, of the last 2 months. And we have demonstrated that to the world, and the delay is unnecessary as far as I'm concerned, because no matter how you see this issue, you know, these are a set of terrorist groups that can listen, especially if you engage them sincerely, and especially if you are really very much committed to understanding the magnitude of the crisis and how the life of these innocent people, you know, continue to be in danger in a situation whereby government can use diplomacy to secure their release as soon as possible. For me, it is unnecessary. For me, we are putting their lives at risk, and honestly, the situation is really very unpredictable, that needs immediate government intervention. What we are seeing today, as far as I'm concerned, though it is something for us to celebrate, you know, releasing some of the victims in badges, but I think this is something that needs to be done at once, so that we will get to the root of this crisis as soon as possible. And as I keep repeating, even if we have succeeded in releasing all the victims, this crisis, you know, this insecurity issue, and then the tendency to attack at any given opportunity is not yet over. You know, government needs to do so much, and I believe if they understand the reality of the crisis, this is something that can be contained by the grace of God.
Well, I want to start by saying thank you to you for your efforts, without which would be in an even worse situation than what we are discussing. But urgent action has been needed since the 28th of March. What exactly is preventing this urgent action from being taken by the government? Exactly what are you alluding to? Why are we having the poor victims released in dribs and drabs, while we're all told that their condition is worsening, those people there? We have an aged woman of 90 years old. We have little children. We have a baby. What exactly is the problem? Why are they not all free by now?
You know, this is the problem we have in this country. You know, the approach is wrong, and the approach is not yielding positive result on the side of the government. If you can remember, I was involved actively in the negotiation of the first 11 victims. And, you know, that time there was so much cooperation from the government, and then it took us less than 6 days to negotiate and then release this first 11. But after the release of the first 11, maybe because of the demands of the terrorist group, and then maybe inability of government to understand, you know, how to go about the crisis, and then to heed to advice, I think that causes the delay in getting to the root of the matter. But no matter how you look at this situation, we have to understand that lives of innocent people are involved. And we have to understand that we are dealing with people, you know, that don't even value the sanctity of human life. We have to understand that we are dealing with people that can inflict harm at any given opportunity to these people. So when you have a situation whereby you understand that this situation as it is today has no military solution, then what will be the right option if you want to preserve innocent lives? Because you will agree with me that if this situation has any military solution, this is something that will have been done in the past 1, 2, 3, now over 4 months, but it has not been done. So if you say, for example, as a government, I'm doing something or I'm taking action or we are doing the best we could to secure their release, what is the result on ground? Nigerians are not seeing the result on ground. Apart from the first one we initiated and succeeded with the assistance of the federal government and the security agencies, all other ones, that regained their freedom as they testify themselves, it happens without any input from the government. It happens without any help from the government. So how can you allow your citizens in that kind of condition? And as you rightly stated, with an aged woman, young, the youngest of them is about 1.5 years old, and their condition is really, really very bad. So I think the situation as it is now, no single person can achieve, the needed result without the cooperation of the government. No matter what we do, no matter how you try to put in your best, at the end of the day, you just get frustrated, and that informs my reason to even withdraw, because my participation is voluntary. How I get involved, it is the passengers, maybe based on what they saw, what we have demonstrated over the last few months with Sheikh Gumi in visiting these bandits enclaves in the northwest to seek solution to this banditry issue and kidnapping, and then the work we do, especially here in the north, being a journalist and a publisher, they suggested that I should be involved, that they suggested that I should be helpful in getting this, and I took that decision to accept it on the human angle. Since they have that competence, and since if you talk to them, at least they make some concession, what will I do as a responsible citizen to make sure that, okay, I also contribute for this thing to come to an end as soon as possible? But the important thing for Nigerians and government to know is that even if, for example, today we have succeeded in securing all these victims, the threat is very visible and the threat is real. Something has to be done. And that's something, you have to apply the carrot and stick approach at the same time. Where it is necessary to apply military force, yeah, it is allowed. It is a solution. But I can tell you what we have on the ground, you have to use a lot of diplomacy and dialogue, to get to the root of this crisis.
Okay. I'd like to press further, Mr. Mamu, on your negotiating leverage. How did you get this negotiating leverage? Was it by those visits, or it was them that gave you the leverage? And does this leverage also include their ecosystems? And secondly, does this leverage also include the fact that after the negotiation, ransoms are paid?
In a situation whereby government do not take control of this kind of situation, and you allow individual desperate family members to reach out to this group and then negotiate their release, certainly and definitely you cannot rule out the aspect of payment of ransom. And that is why it is even funny, for example, for government to say we are discouraging the payment of ransom. If you are discouraging the payment of ransom and you allow individual families to directly discuss and negotiate with this group, then by implication, what are you encouraging? Certainly you are encouraging ransom payment. The first batch of the 11, when government, participated actively, I can guarantee you, I can assure you, we did not pay a single kobo to anybody. We achieved that through dialogue, through negotiation, and through the spirit of give and take. So no matter what you do, just imagine that this is my son, or this is my mother, or this is my brother, spending all this period in captivity, in an uncertain situation. If you have the resources, for example, to secure his release, will you allow him to just die there? Especially in the situation whereby their lives are being threatened almost on a daily basis, especially in the situation whereby most of them are in serious condition of illness. You can see from the submission of the medical doctor, he is virtually the sole medical doctor of the camp. He treats both the captives and the abductors. So that is even maybe the luck they have, even though without any medical facilities. But in his absence, what do you think will happen now? And the implication of what is happening today, whoever, for example, that succeeds in coming out, certainly behind the scene, it involves a lot of negotiation and then engagement with them. So what of the over 80% of them that are still there that cannot even raise as much as 100,000 naira? Who will stand for them, for example? How can they get released? And that is why our government needs to come in as soon as possible. In a situation whereby, you are at the receiving end, because this situation now, Nigerians, the federal government, we are at the receiving end. They are holding people hostage, and they are determined to use these people as human shield. These are people we must understand with distorted religious belief. They believe that the blood of everybody is even justified as long as you didn't share their religious belief. So when you have these misguided elements and with the tendency to even kill, do we allow them until they started killing these innocent people before we will act? There is nothing that cannot be done within this long period of over 4 months. Nothing as a government that they cannot do. Okay. If, for example, in a country whereby we will tolerate a situation whereby one person will steal or divert over 100 billion naira, then what is the difference between such corrupt public officers and terrorists? Okay. What is the difference?
Mr. Chukwuma,
I don't see any difference between them, honestly.
Okay, Mr. Chukwuma, I just want to have a quick follow-up. You said in the case of the first 11 released, it was based on dialogue and give and take. I'd like to ask you, what was given and what was taken? I'm sure that the release of the 11 people were given by the bandits.
Mr. Rufai, you should understand that this initial process involves the federal government 100% with the security agencies. Okay. So I think the right people to answer this question, I think, should be the federal government or the military. They know exactly what happens, and they know how we succeeded in securing the release of the first 11.
Okay.
Because already, I'm under serious pressure from virtually most of them. They think that the little we are doing is a show of incapacity of the military, which is not so. We are not criticizing the military. We are not criticizing the federal government. We are only advising them that this is the right step to take, especially in this very difficult and unpredictable situation.
Okay. You were quoted in some of the papers that you have decided to withdraw as a negotiator because you accuse the federal government of delaying the process of getting the victims released. Is that correct? And then secondly, many people would like to know, what exactly do the terrorists want? Because the videos that we have seen, we find the victims saying government should respond to the terrorists and try to respond to their demands. What exactly are they asking for?
It's very true, Doctor. It's very true that for almost 2 weeks now, I have announced my withdrawal from engaging with this group because I have my reasons. First, when you are doing something as an army of one, even if you will succeed, the success will be very little. And it's in a situation whereby there is virtually no support from the government, no any form of appreciation from the government, in a situation whereby you are also even being threatened in one way or the other. I think the best way in the corrupt system we have, I'm not accusing anybody, I'm not accusing the security agencies, but honestly, what I have seen and the pressure I have went through, especially in the absence of government support, it will be very, very dangerous for me to continue this, because one will even risk the tendency of even losing his life, not from the terrorists, of course, but from the corrupt society, and then the tendency to even blackmail. So no matter how you want to assist, when there is no cooperation from the government, especially in a difficult situation like this, I think the best way is for you to disengage. Maybe until such a time when government understand and appreciate the magnitude of the crisis. But the most important thing is that if, for example, one single individual can negotiate the release of all these remaining victims that were released after the 11, you can imagine if, for example, government would put the same commitment. This is something, I repeat, that can be done within 2-3 days, and it will be over for these victims. And in a situation like this, where the support is virtually not there, and where the commitment, I can say, is not encouraging, and it leaves you with a lot of frustrations, because I don't think maybe some of them in government, are understanding, the crisis these families are into. It is not something very easy for them. It is a very trying period for them, and it is something, as a nation, all stakeholders need to come out and contribute to see an end to this crisis. And what I'm afraid is, for example, if people can give in their lives, if people can make the kind of effort we are doing behind the scene, and then without any encouragement, what do you expect, in future? Definitely you will be discouraging people to even share information, to even share intelligence that will assist the government, the military in bringing this thing to an end. I think those of us that are truly identified, as people or as citizens that are willing to contribute, especially from what we have demonstrated to the world almost a year ago with Sheikh Ahmad Gumi, visiting places that no government appointee can dare go to that place, meeting with these top bandits commanders, understanding the magnitude of the crisis, and then trying to find solution. I think if people can do like that, in a situation whereby you risk even your life, the tendency to be killed, I think this set of people should be priceless assets that government need to hold and then work together with. But if you can remember, even that time, even the chance for Sheikh Ahmad Gumi to see the president, to brief him on this crisis, and then the way forward, it has been frustrated largely by those maybe that are benefiting from this insecurity crisis. We must appreciate the fact, or we must understand the fact that there is a lot of intricacies in this issue of insecurity in Nigeria. This is multi-billion naira budgets, and certainly, what is happening. If government will look into it seriously, it must subject the processes of the budgetary allocation spending into scrutiny, so that at least we will have commensurate result in what we are doing. We understand and that during the last 7 years, a huge amount, as much as $16 billion was spent on security. The question we should ask ourselves is there any commensurate result out of this huge spending? And if there is no commensurate result, who are those people benefiting from these insecurity budgets? Who are those people that are making money out of this thing? We must commend the president. The reason why I always commend him is that, he is doing everything he could, to approve almost every budget, the security agencies presented. But the missing link is that if you appoint somebody and you cannot hold him accountable in case of especially failure or inability to deliver, this is where the crisis is.
It's really sad to hear all of this, considering the fact that government spokespersons talk of a whole of society, whole of government, whole of the nation approach, and they say we all have a collective responsibility. But, there was the second leg of the question that you made. What exactly do these terrorists want? Because we hear the victims saying government should do whatever they're asking for. What are they really asking for?
For me, most of the issues they are bringing, it is unrealistic. Most of the issues they are bringing, cannot be justified, especially in a country where, we virtually have the same problems. Because if you talk of, for example, people stealing in government, it does not only affect them, it affects the whole of Nigerians. if you talk of, for example, a situation whereby there is no presence of government in many places, this is something that affects all of us. So, but I think what government need to understand in this crisis is to go to the genesis of the crisis and see the way to address this crisis. You know, from their initial complaints is that government have apprehended, arrested, and killed most of their people, and that they said what they are saying is that they are different from Boko Haram elements that go out and kill just like that. They said they are only spreading their religious belief, and in the process of doing that, most of them are either arrested or being killed. And I think it is part of the reason they gave, which even includes the arrest, I can say, of their teenage children. So basically, when you engage people, you will get to know maybe the kind of grievances they have. Then that grievances through diplomacy, through dialogue, you know, you can justify the ones that are justifiable, and then the ones that are not. I believe when you engage them sincerely, these are people that can make concessions, and these are people that can reason. But what I want us to understand is that, you know, one cannot compare his psyche and sense of reasoning with somebody, for example, with so much ignorance or even distorted religious belief. The best way to deal with a difficult situations like that is to penetrate them by way of, you know, engaging them. You know, because if you engage somebody, especially with superior argument, you know, making him to understand the reality of the situation, I can tell you it is something that can be achieved. And I have seen that during my engagements with them. Sometimes they will say this is that, this is that. I will tell them that if you do this thing will not be in the interest of you or even your people. Out of this advice, I can tell you they have taken so much, and I want to give you just few of them. For example, during the period of my engagement, they have issued 2 or 3 serious threats to start executing these innocent victims. But I gave them reasons. I talked sense into them, and I have the audios. At the end of the day, you know, without giving them a single kobo, you know, they have dropped that idea. Because I told them, if you people are talking of Islam, okay, which aspect of Islam, you know, permits you to go and kill people that are innocent, to go and kill people, you know, that didn't do anything? And then why can't you people, at least, even if you will not discuss with government, why can't you people allow individual family members to discuss with you, so that whatever grievances you have with government, you know, this is something. Especially when we have a government that can sit down, listen, and then analyze these issues, this thing is something that can be discussed. But what government needs to do in a situation like that, I think they need to really engage them. Engaging them will make them to understand so many things. Especially as I keep repeating, when you have a situation that have little military option. You know, the level of our intelligence gathering, you know, anytime these people wants to attack, you know, they always succeed. We have invested so much in this rail business. It has been grounded now for over 4 months, and the threat is very clear that as soon as this thing resumes, without proper understanding with these people, anybody that uses this train will be in danger. So when you have this difficult situation, and then with inability, for example, to determine and prevent attack on the side of the government, then what option do you have? What option do we have? The mistake, you know, we made as a nation is that, you know, we have allowed this Boko Haram ISWAP element, you know, part of them to, you know, to relocate from the northeast now to the northwest. They are now in the strategic forest of Niger State. Niger State forest is so vast. I think it is even twice the size of Lagos. So now they are assimilating very well with the Fulani bandits. And you know the population of the Fulani bandits. They are even more harmful, I can say, than even the normal Boko Haram ISWAP fighters, because the Fulani bandits are largely illiterate without any understanding of even the religion of Islam. So when you have this difficult situation, and in a country whereby the borders are so porous that drugs can come in at will, arms are coming in. In fact, the kind of ammunition that even the military hardly use. So when you allow people to have this access to serious arms, and then for them to even have the power to go to the nation's capital and attack, then what option do you have? The best option is, even if, for example, you will succeed in killing them, you will hardly succeed in killing all of them. And you will understand, I know you will believe with me that the level of poverty in the north is so endemic. So the recruitment into terrorism, into banditry is on the high side. Okay, with as little as 20,000-30,000 naira, you can recruit somebody into terrorism and banditry in the northwest now.
Okay, Mr. Mamu.
I've been trying to get a word in,
so many issues.
Mr. Mamu. You've painted a really vivid picture for our viewers this morning. So it leads me to ask you your thoughts on the BBC Africa Eye documentary that painted an equally scary picture to the Nigerian public, and the fact that the federal government's approach has been to sanction multi-choice, sanction Trust TV for airing that documentary. What is your take on informing the public, as you have done? They did theirs in their own way, but what is your take generally on the public being informed on the sheer scale of the horror that we are facing, rather than having these issues swept under the carpet? And also the approach that the federal government has taken, and also the fact that even in your efforts as a negotiator, you've been accompanied into the forest by the federal government. The issue is not that the government does not know where these people are. They know exactly where to be found, but they have not been apprehended. So many questions in the minds of Nigerians on this issue. Do you care to give us your perspective?
Okay, Tundu, I think this is really very sad and frustrating. Honestly, it is really very sad and frustrating. And I can tell you, we need to do so much to manage this crisis. And what I think I missed the first part of your question. If you can just remind me, please.
Talks about how you are painting a picture as it is of exactly what we are facing, whereas other people who are also painting a picture, albeit differently, are being penalized for doing that. What is your take on informing the public on the sheer scale of the horror?
Honestly, it is in the system we have. It is not unexpected, and I'm very disappointed with the development, especially regarding the BBC documentary and then the Trust TV documentary, and then that shows the level of understanding, or I can say myopic understanding of the magnitude of the crisis. This in-depth investigation, this in-depth analysis of the issue, should have been used, to see how we can get to the root of this matter. And for example, when you cage the media and when you threaten the media in the manner we have seen, in recent time, definitely something is really wrong, and it portends a lot of danger to democracy and to especially the vulnerable.
Thank you so much, my wonderful viewers, for watching this video together with me from the beginning to the end. Like I said before, if you like what you see here, if you like what I do in this platform, as you have finished watching this video, please hit that red button that says subscribe and put on your notification bell to all notification. In that way, you'll be able to know when I upload a new video. Share my videos, leave your comments in the comment section constructively. Until I meet your way again in my next video, I still remain your Linda's TV show. Bye-bye.